their audience that they could play a tape that is so edited, right, and only mention the part that's convenient for his argument, forgetting that we've all seen the rest of it and we all know the big story. He can just say that.
Stop speaking for the rest of the people. The media is the curtain that covers the criminals and traitors. Wow. Could not have said it any better. And that's something. And every now and then you get to pull back behind the curtain. And that's why they're upset. So this is why this video here is going to make us smile a little bit, because Benny Johnson is really good with his words. Let's take a listen to this.
Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. By diving deep into the waters of conspiracy and cherry-picking from thousands of hours of security footage, Mr. Carlson told the bold-faced lie that the Capitol attack, which we all saw with our own eyes, was somehow not an attack at all.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. What's that sound you hear faintly off into the distance? Oh, it sounds like a cracking. It sounds like a crumbling. It sounds like the destruction of a media narrative lie. And what are you going to get? You're going to get a demonic scream from that same media that have been lying to you to try and cover up their own lies. Don't look at what Tucker Carlson is doing right now on Fox News, which is called real journalism. As a preface, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch all of Tucker's takedowns and exposing of the narrative lies, we have videos on that. You can watch them here. But this is the media reaction to that we find so utterly repugnant. A perfect meme for this moment. As ever, the internet produces a perfect meme. Tucker Carlson shouldn't report this story, as says every reporter out there, as brain-dead, lobotomized NPCs. This is what we find so utterly fascinating about this moment, is that when a piece of information that is against the narrative floats along, like the U.S. helping blow up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, or the CIA being involved, and the FBI being involved in potentially the Kennedy assassination, whatever it happens to be, Joe Biden having dementia, whenever we have a piece of information that comes along through the pipeline that is a bombshell story. Hunter Biden's laptop, Russiagate, these are two great real-world examples that happened right before us. When those stories get merchandised by the corporate press, they become invested in them because the corporate press is simply an organ of the Democrat Party and the Uniparty and the elites. And so they tell you these lies, and then when those lies are exposed, the media doesn't want you to see the exposing of their lies, and they shriek like demons.
Of course, because their entire narrative was built on a lie. And this is why, who was it that said this? Was it a Confucius or something? One of those guys, one of those ethical teachers. He says, even though I'm not a big fan of Buddha and so on, but there's some things he said that were true. He said it this way: 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. It's true because these people can come up with a story and trying to get us to believe it as facts. But eventually you notice the narrative is changing. Like, consider, for example, without saying it, but you know what I'm saying, C-19 or the Pestilence 19 and everything that was behind that is falling apart. I've just listened to a new information about Dr. Fauci. He's likely going to prison because they are turning against him. They're realizing that, oh Lord, he was funding the gain-of-function research in Yuan, China. They were very much aware of what was going on there. He lied on their oath. So there are doctors now that are coming and talking and saying, yeah, it was very obvious this was manufactured. But the thing is, people have been saying this for years, though. Other channels have been speaking like this. Conservative channels have been speaking. I got my channel banned several times for suggesting there's a possibility that this stuff was funded, right? Oh, you medical misinformation, shut up. That's what we got. And now they're coming out saying, yep, it was true. Isn't it crazy that the things that these people said was conspiracy theorists and so on turned out to be exactly true, objective reality that is undeniable? So I'm noting a lot of things that they classify as conspiracy theory are the things that I should actually look into. I'm actually learning to do this now. It's like, okay, every time I hear conspiracy theory now, or conspiracy theorists, they're lying and so on, or conspiratorial, I'm like, I'm going to look into it. Because everything you call conspiracy theory, they're turning out to be true. So therefore, the conspiracy theorist might be the one telling the truth. So I ain't gonna listen to you telling me how to think and getting upset because the tapes and the things are out. Anyway, let my man continue here.
Because you are learning the truth. And what is the truth? Well, the Daily Mail has a perfect headline here. Tucker Carlson shares never-before-seen footage of January 6th showing Capitol cops escorting QAnon shaman to the Senate floor. Says the rioters obviously revered the Capitol. Fox News host has been given 40,000 hours of January 6th surveillance footage. Carlson, on Monday, began the broadcasting of the clips highlighting, in particular, the movements of Q. Schauman and Officer...
Angie, let me read your comment. You said, I'm still waiting for Whoopi to make her threat. Okay. If Trump was elected, she was going to leave the U.S. Maybe when President Trump is elected in 2024, she would actually leave. You see, these people ain't going nowhere. They know that the United States is one of the greatest countries, in the entire world. But the thing is, she hasn't gone nowhere. A lot of people are complaining about the United States being this, being that, which I'm complaining too. I'm complaining against corruption. I'm complaining against lies and deceptions. I don't like stuff like that. I'm a Christian. I hate it from every level. But I don't understand. I live in a world where this is prevalent. But the thing is, I don't hate the country though. I think the love for the country is the reason why I complain. Some of these people just hate the country as a whole. They talk and they nag and they brag and so I don't know why they don't leave. And that's my question too. If you hate America so much and everything that's in it, just leave. Go live somewhere else. Go to Russia. There are other places out there that you can go and live and make a living. But they don't want to do that though. But they just want to destroy the country from within. This is my issue with them.
Sir Brian Sicknick, who later died after the riot, not during the riot, days after the riot, and of something totally unrelated to the riot, according to all evidence. Carlson said that the footage showed Schauman being escorted through the Capitol. So Tucker Carlson just blew narrative after narrative after narrative apart here with his footage, and now the people who propped up those narratives are screaming bloody murder. Even though Tucker Carlson provides the data, provides the footage for everyone to see, it's just total and complete cope and seethe, starting with CBS.
Check this morning.
So their issue is that we were not allowed to see some of this information for ourselves and come to our own conclusion and perspective of what actually happened on that day. This is not to say there were not some violent stuff happening, but a lot of the violent stuff that was going on were Antifa members. They were inciting violence, and these people were made to believe that these were mega Trump supporters that were doing this stuff. That's what we heard for 2-something years. So now the story is changing and these people are melting down. But I think this is exactly what the people want. We want to know what actually happened on that day. We want to know the entire story, not only part of the story. And for them to get mad at Tucker Carlson for doing this, it just shows the level of hypocrisy that's been going on from the very beginning. And it needs to be exposed. The best disinfectant to lies and deception is the truth. And the more you shine the light of truth on errors and everything, it melts away like vampires, like he said. It melts away. And praise God for the truth.
Morning after Fox News host Tucker Carlson aired previously unseen video of the assault on the Capitol on his show last night. What Carlson did is use selected clips from surveillance tapes provided to him by House.
Selected clips. What do you want?
Selected clips. Remember the clips I just showed you of how they made Senator Josh look so bad? They used a selected clips of over 5 seconds. Tucker Carlson used a clip that was like 3 or 5 minutes long, and it shows you different parts of him walking, the QAnon Charman as he is referred to. And the man is behind bars as a result of this, by the way. He's supposed to be spending 4 years behind bars. And the man said, I am not a criminal. And when you watch the video, he is not a criminal. But the way he was depicted and shown before us, he was depicted, this man needs to be acquitted. He needs to be freed from prison. This man needs to be freed. And his family, they need to pay him for what they've done to him and his family. This is what they're gonna have to do. And this is why they're melting down. They literally condemn an innocent man. I'm not saying he's innocent in the fullest sense of the word because he got into the Capitol. But the things that they were condemning him for, he didn't do. And what's crazy about this, there were so many Black Lives Matter rioters who were doing things, especially during Trump's era. When Trump became president in 2016, these people went in the streets and they were burning things down, tearing down statues, attacking businesses. Some of them were killing people. They never got locked up. Very few of them got jail timed. But a man who walked around in the Capitol with security escort, you put in prison for 4 years. That's just crazy to me. Like, his family needs to be acquitted. The men need to be freed. There needs to be some apologies. All of that. This is the only way you're ever going to get the American people to ever respect some of these people ever again. But the thing is, they don't have the heart to do that. There's too much pride. You don't have the humility to say, I was wrong. I was lying. You got me, guys. You caught me. They don't have that humility because all they're going to do is cover it up and twist the story and trying to find a way to get out of it. That's what they're going to do. And the shame of that is that they fail to understand people like you and I who are in the middle, people like you and I who are wondering about the facts, people like you and I who are paying attention, they don't realize they're losing our confidence and our respect. That's what's going on. And when they want to run for office again, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get slapped in the face with the facts that people like you and I are tired of their nonsense.
You want them to broadcast all 40,000 hours? Do you want to just watch all 40,000 hours? Tucker himself said most of the footage doesn't show anything because it's just camera footage of a corner of the Capitol where no one was. What do you mean selectively edited? This is what you do all day. You play a clip from a thing that you want people to see. This is called editing. It's not selective. This is news gathering. Not everything is newsworthy. You jackwad.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to claim falsely that journalists and lawmakers lied about the January 6th.
What do you mean claim falsely? Tucker Carlson played the footage.
Attack on the Capitol.
They did lie.
Scott McFarlane is in Washington. Scott, good morning to you. You've been following this very closely. What stood out to you?
Yeah, Tony, good morning. The narrative last night ignores the tens of thousands of pages of court filings we've read and the tonnage of footage already released by the Justice Department and shown in open court.
Okay, so here's the first time in human history where journalists are very upset at another journalist doing journalism. What Tucker Carlson is doing is adding dimensions to what happened that day. It was a complex day, a lot of things going on, and so Tucker Carlson is doing journalism and exposing new facts. Over at CNN, the Chardonnay moms from the suburbs of Connecticut are clearly needing a refill of their Xanax prescriptions as they have apoplectic, hyperventilating seizures on air about Tucker Carlson doing real journalism.
It just shows how little Tucker and Fox News think of their audience, that they could play a tape that is so edited, right?
These people are ridiculous. No, you know what they're doing? They're projecting. They're projecting because the very thing that they've done to us are the things that they're blaming Tucker Carlson for doing. But Tucker is not doing that, though. The thing is, you think of us this little. You think of us this small, that you played a role in holding back information that was needful to the people to make their decisions based on the facts. You held the facts, you tell only one side of the story, and you put your own narrative and perspective on that. You twisted the mind of so many American people. Twisted the minds of so many of them. You've lied and deceived them. And you've done it for years, and you kept on lying. Now the truth is coming out, and you condemning the man for the same sins that you are guilty of. That is hypocrisy. And they will sit there and act like people like you and I can't read between the line. I think that's what's disrespectful to me, is that like you really think we are that stupid, y'all? Come on now.
Just think of their audience, that they could play a tape that is so edited, right, and only mention the part that's convenient for his argument, forgetting that we've all seen the rest of it and we all know the big story. He can just say that.
Stop speaking for the rest of the people. Like, we don't all have seen this thing. You might have seen it, but the things you've told us is not exactly how things are turning out to be. You were lying. Now you're blaming Tucker of lying. This stuff is crazy. This is what you call gaslighting. This is gaslighting at its finest. In other words, what you see is not what you see. What you've seen in this video, what you hear is not what you've heard. This is called gaslighting. They are trying to change your perspective. They are literally dialecting and twisting and manipulating your conscience. That's what they're trying to do. As if what Tucker has done is so wrong that they themselves has been doing much wrong. And then they're like, no, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, I give him a lot of respect because I never thought he was going to do as well as he's done. He's released the tape and he did not give it to these people. Imagine if the Speaker of the House gave those 40,000 footage to CNN or MSNBC or ABC or any of these guys. What do you think they would have done with the footage? What do you think they would have done? First of all, Nancy Pelosi had these footage for how many years? They could have released them if they wanted to the general public. They chose not to. They edited and twisted and added things only that will suit their narrative. Now, the Speaker of the House we now have, Kevin McCarthy, says, I'm going to deliver the goods. And he did. And I give him some godly respect for that because I didn't think he was going to do as good as he did. And now they're melting down because the truth is in their face and they have a hard time accepting it.
They're just sightseers, which is like saying Pearl Harbor was just an air show. I mean, it's absurd, but the entertainment side of Fox News has taken over the news side of Fox News. And the
Yeah, I love your perspective, my man. The media will not only continue to lie, but double down on their lies. Exactly. It's like I think they've been lying for so long. All that they can do is lie because their foundation is built on a lie. If they were to take back all of that, if they were to say, man, we were wrong. Oh, snap. We were told, or the script that we were given didn't tell the whole story. They can't do that because that would mean they would lose their jobs. That takes serious integrity. That takes character. That means you gotta be a person of good nature to do that. I don't think some of these people have decent nature. And this is not an attack on personhood here. I just think some of these people are so bought and sold to the institution that for them to find the heart to speak the truth, they can't do that because it requires humility. And with humility comes humiliation. That means you gotta put your face to the ground and acknowledge the fact I was wrong. And most people can't do that. Most people can't. And most people don't have that humility in their hearts to admit that. And if they were to do this, their entire system will be exposed. And the thing is, it's best you admit you're wrong and you give people a reason to forgive you and work with you once again than to keep on lying and lying. And I think this is why CNN, for example, their rating is so bad. Because what they don't realize, and it's crazy when you go on CNN and you read what's underneath, the comments underneath. Just listen to what their audience are saying. I'm reading their audience. Over 60% of the comments are totally against what they're saying. The people that are in there that are saying, nah, you guys are lying. You guys are not making sense. No, I think, and these are Democrats that are talking like this. A lot of the people are responding to CNN saying, you guys need to stop. Maybe we should consider the facts. Maybe it's crazy how they don't even think similar to their audience. Their audience is saying something completely opposite than what they're sharing.
Entertainment side.
They keep on pushing the lie, though.
It started pushing the news side to do what they were doing. And a number of them followed suit. This is a joke. You should not call Fox News news, because anyone editing film and footage like this and then lying to viewers.
Last one. Why are the Dems afraid of showing the Gen 6 videotapes, right? Because it's all lies. Insurrection, not even close. I think the real insurrection happened when Mr. Trump became president and they were going wild trying to stop it from happening. I think that's the real insurrection. I heard people marching the street, not my president. You remember that? I remember that 2016. And I was not involved in any political stuff at all. But I was like, why are people so upset? The man won, the man won. Get over it. That was my thought. They were not called election deniers. They were not called insurrectionists. They were called peaceful protesters. Now, here is the pot
Faces.
calling the kettle black. Listen to this.
This is a joke. You should not call Fox News news, because
CNN is telling Fox News, is saying that Fox News should not be called news. Do you remember what that guy said? And I think I did a video to him before. I don't mind quickly playing that. What's his name? Russell Brand video. Yeah, Russell Brand cook, not CNN, MSNBC. It's like one big happy family anyway. He cooked them wide open. I think what he did was so on point. It's worth listening to, because
to the American people, and I think to the American.
Yeah, listen to part of Russell Brand's what he's been saying. Listen to the machine.
No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes like Edward Snowden. No one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he's suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people. And I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous. Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
I love it, man. I love it. He was on fire. I'm telling you, I love me some Russell Brand. I've been listening to some of his stuff. You say make MSNBC great again. That was just for MSNBC. Fox News is just as guilty of the same sins. But they want to talk about how not Fox News, CNN is just as guilty of the same sins that they want to condemn Fox News for. It's like, you guys are worse. You guys are worse. Lord have mercy.
Anyone editing film and footage like this and then lying to viewers' faces is in the entertainment business, and not even particularly entertaining at that.
Also on CNN, low testosterone liar confirmed Adam Kinzinger was weepy once more.
Well, Adam, he also invoked the committee several times, saying essentially, this is access, the footage that you had access to, parts of it that the committee did not air. Do you want to respond to that? And also, that he said you were a liar, and Liz Cheney was a liar.
Well, semantically speaking, it is edited if it's not a full footage, of course. Probably just saying words game. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, you don't need an entire whole hours of footage to get the context. Thing is, if the man can run a 1 to 5 minutes video showing a particular thing that is establishing, that is more than enough to work with. That is more than enough. Like, it's one thing you take a segment of somebody's speech, like a 1 minute of somebody's speech, and you build an entire narrative. That's different. This is a video of a man walking around for like 3 to 5 minutes, and you saying he's editing the video. I do video editing. That was good, clear-cut evidence. That's undeniable facts right there. You can't just say that was edited to push a different perspective. No, that's what you guys did. all the other time. That's not what he did. He just told you, here is one man, and I'm following him here, there, everywhere. And the video was long. If you haven't seen it, check it out, because he shows a whole different story. And he doesn't show the man being a criminal at all, as they were wanting us to believe.
And that you guys perpetuated this lie.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously everybody knows, even in their heart, even those that think that, or that will say out loud that the insurrection didn't happen, they know in their heart that it did. So you can call me a liar all you want. I just know that means we're over the target, typically.
We're over the target, says a guy who never flew any combat missions.
He's having too much fun with this.
What a fraud. Oh, man. He did. He lied to the American people time and time again. And we all know why, Adam. We all know it's because you wanted to get jobs in the White House and have your relatives get jobs in the White House.
And you did.
Donald Trump said no, and so you got butthurt. Speaking of butthurt, as ever, the top call from Democrats is to censor Tucker Carlson. Chuck Schumer saying that Tucker Carlson shouldn't be allowed to be on TV. He said something I didn't like. He did a journalism.
Going to come back tonight with another segment. Fox News should tell him not to. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, tell Carlson not to run a second segment.
No, man, they're so scared. They're
That is crazy, man. Even the thought that goes behind this is actually scary. Here you have government, people who ought to represent this country, who ought to stand for the Constitution of this country, openly violate that publicly. Chuck Schumer, your job is to represent Americans, not to push a narrative, not to uphold an agenda. For you to call for Tucker Carlson to be censored, you're violating the Constitution of this country, which is freedom of speech. I still believe in. Okay, Twitter. Okay, YouTube. I should say YouTube, because Twitter is been good. Twitter lately, you can say whatever you want. Thank God for Elon Musk. You find things on Twitter that will make your heart happy. If you're not a Twitter fan, I'll tell you, get yourself a Twitter account, because Twitter is on fire right now. But I think YouTube right now is still doing that censorship business. But the thing, and nevertheless, for this man to stand there and say that, these are reasons these people should get fired. These are reasons they should be sat down, because you're not even an American if you actually think that is actually communist propaganda you spewing here. I have no respect for anybody who tells me who can speak and who cannot speak. I have no respect for that. Because you have to understand, as a Christian, part of my job is to connect, to share, to dialogue, to preach, and to teach. If you take away my freedom to do that, you make it impossible for me to share my gospel, to connect with others, to make friends like you guys. That is some scary stuff. And that's kind of what he's doing. When you go after Tucker, you're going after every American, because he's just another person who is saying something you don't agree with. Because you don't agree with something doesn't mean they don't have the right to say it. Now, what you can come and do is come with another side of the story to help people to see what exactly you disagree with. Let's have the dialogue. Let's have the debate. No, they don't want no debate. They just want to shut down the opposition because supposedly things are not going the way that they want them to go. I will call this a coward. I will call you a hypocrite. I will call you a communist, because they like to call people communists and fascists all the time. That is the spirit of communism right there. That's what you're looking at. And that is very scary.
Not to run a second segment.
Oh, man, they're so scared. They're so scared. It's coming on all fronts. Listen, this is how you know that we are making a difference. This is how you know that the narrative is breaking, that the ship is sinking. They're bringing out people who definitely would sink ships if they were on them. Whoopi Goldberg on The View, just hollering and wailing and screaming. The rending of the garments here over Tucker Carlson's reporting is really a sight to behold.
Tucker Carlson took a page from George Orwell's 1984 and told his viewers to reject the evidence of their eyes and ears. I mean, listen, you know, I don't know what he's playing at.
Just a reminder that Whoopi Goldberg defended Hitler the other day and said that there was nothing about Hitler that was racist at all. He's just another white guy.
And she went after George Orwell. George Orwell, 1984 book. I have purchased that. That man was good. He was way ahead of his time. Whoopi Goldberg, give us a break.
In case you're wondering who's on the side of fascism here.
But people saw what they saw. They saw what they saw. And they've seen what's gone down.
They saw what you showed them. That's the point of releasing the unedited footage.
With it. And no matter what, you can't put this monkey back in the cage. You can't. This was insurrection. It just was what it was. So people are very upset.
That is not something.
Yes, you can. I don't know if I can handle another minute of the views. I don't know. I mean, gosh, I'm going to try to hold my spirit together here because they make me lose my religion all the time. The thing is, what do you mean you can't put this monkey back in the bag? Like, the thing is, the lie cannot stand in the presence of the truth. Darkness runs away from the sunlight. It's not what Tucker is doing we need to have an issue with. It's what you've been doing. They refuse to own up to their error. That's what bothers me the most because they don't have the guts to do it. But they're going to keep doing this because that's part of their jobs, and I get it. It's just like watching this stuff happen is like, ugh, gosh. These people, where did they get them from?
This was insurrection. It just was what it was. So people are very upset.
That is not something.
First unarmed insurrection in the history of the people.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but now I do. How do you have an insurrection and not a single person that went in the Capitol was armed? There was no guns. Nobody shot anybody. I think there was one gun shot, that one lady who died. But I'm not sure who did the shooting and everything else behind that, so I don't have all the facts. But the thing is, how do you have an insurrection that wasn't planned? Very few people knew about it. How do you have an insurrection of people that are going inside the building, taking pictures, admiring the beauty? Like, is that an insurrection? That's what an insurrection look like? Like, are you serious? Like, haven't you seen real insurrection, real coup d'etat? Haven't you seen in different parts of the world when people are tearing down a country? I think, what was the country in India that this happened to recently? Like, when it happened, the president that was the sitting president took off. He had to flee. Like, the people, when they go after you, they were tearing down everything. That was an insurrection. But anyway, that's not what happened here on that day. I think what happened with some of the Black Lives Matter movement and some of those rioters and everything, I think that was worse than what happened with January 6th. But they like to make it appear January 6th was the worst thing that ever happened to America. No, it wasn't. We've seen worse. And it was bad. I don't think I agree with what happened there. But the way they want to use it as a mean to control people's perspective, no, that's bad. You're lying.
Peoples of the world, where the only person that was killed during the insurrection was a unarmed female veteran Trump supporter named Ashley Babbitt, who was murdered in cold blood. So going the Hollywood route, Ken Burns, the filmmaker, who should really be concerned about the historical record. This is the historian. Remember, he's a historian. This is the guy who makes documentaries based on historical footage. He is at the top of the list of people who should care about Tucker Carlson doing this work. Was
great quotation here. If you want to see the truth, the Lord will cover you in a veil of delusion. Exactly. I have found in life, if you seek out the truth will be found to you. Well said. I like that. Well said. That's right. Yeah, okay. Some people trespassed. That's really what it was. And some people here, there were different sides of it. There were people who came simply to be at the event. They never planned on going inside the building. There was another group, they were more curious. They were like people that say, oh, the Capitol is open, let's go inside and see what's going on, right? But they were not trying to hurt anybody and kill anybody. But there was another group, okay, and this is the group that they kind of slime everybody with the character of this group. And a lot of people believe these were Antifa's members the Antifa or anti-fascist group, their job is, they're really Democrats themselves, but they will go in Republican events and they will actually create chaos, and they will act as if they are part of the group. So they will wear Donald Trump hat, they will wear black, and they will wear different colors. So they will kind of infiltrate in a way, and they will do damage and leave everybody to think that so-and-so did it. But there was another group. There were some FBI agents that were also involved in this stuff. So there are 4 different groups when you think about what happened on January 6th, from what I've gathered so far. There might be even more. But also there were the police. Some of the police were in it. Some of the cops were in it. They were actually aware this was going to happen. There's a cop who gave his testimony who said, I'm calling for help and nobody's answering me. It's almost like some of the cops chose to stand down, allow it to happen. So they wanted it to happen to create a narrative. So there are different sides of this thing. It's not a bunch of people who just went there just like that. There were different groups going there, and everybody was, very few understood what was really going on. It was incited from within. It was a lot happening. It wasn't just like a bunch of Trump supporters went there and destroyed things. No, that's what they want us to believe. That's not how it happened. And that's what Tucker is tearing apart right now, and that's why they're melting down so bad.
Again, hyperventilating and clutching his pearls like a menopausal wine mom on CNN.
This and others are doing limit our ability to understand who we are and are not inclusive. They're exclusive. They're narrowing the focus of what is and isn't American history. It's terrifying. It feels like a Soviet system, or, you know, the way the Nazis would build a Potemkin village. Tucker Carlson's doing the same thing with the footage from 1/6. It's just a kind of rewriting of history at the most dangerous level. It's a huge threat to our republic. I'm doing, Don.
So the reason that this is happening is because they know they're losing. They have no viewership. Tucker Carlson has massive viewership, along with, of course, the corporate media infrastructure imploding comes the new infrastructure of creators and influencers like Elon Musk, who's one of the most followed men in the world, the richest man in the world, and his entire timeline is about the lies that have been told about January 6th, including, but not limited to, the New York Post article Tour de Farce here. They know they're losing the narrative. They know it. And they're shrieking like demons over it. Mike Davis over here saying that the way that the Justice Department has handled these cases needs to be under review. This is really, really terrifying stuff, of course, for the people that were so proud of the number of the fellow Americans that they were able to toss into prison for the rest of their lives. Elon Musk torches January 6th committee for misleading the public, withholding evidence. This tweet in particular is getting a lot of attention. The January 6th committee lied about how Brian Sicknick died, lied about Barry Loudermilk. This is the congressman that they said helped do a reconnaissance mission for January 6th, lied about Josh Hawley, lied about Ray Epps, lied about everything. Besides misleading the public, Elon says, they withheld evidence, partisan political reasons. They sent people to prison for far more serious crimes than they committed. This is deeply wrong, legally and morally. Yikes, man. That's where you get them. And so what are they screaming for and calling for? Now, they're calling for
of lies.
Tucker
you
Carlson,
know it's a lie. You've admitted it.
To be removed from the airwaves. That's what they always do. And then they accuse us of being the Soviets. They accuse us of being the Nazis, when they are the ones who are calling for this man who's doing actual journalism to be removed from the airwaves. This is the first time in my adult life that I've seen journalists, so-called, scream at a man doing actual journalism, revealing more information to the public, revealing more facts and data to the public so that we can understand a very complicated geometric moment in American history and all of the forces at play. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are absolute and total banality of evil. They're everything that they accuse us of being and more. They would censor Tucker Carlson. They would shut him down. They'd censor all of us in order to prop up their official narratives. And their official narratives built on lies are what's crumbling right now. And it's actually the American people who see it and not the other way around. God bless Tucker Carlson. We're all fighting for America. My name is Benny Johnson. See ya.
Thank you for watching our channel.
Yeah, here we are, guys. Here we are. But the story continues. Thank you, Benny. He's good with the sarcasm. Now look at this, guys. Look at this. Who killed Abraham Lincoln? A Democrat. JFK, Democrat. Who killed MLK? Democrat. Lynch blacks? Democrats. Own slaves? Democrats. Create Jim Crow? Democrats. Segregation? Democrats. Created KKK? Democrats. Japanese camp? Democrats. The Confederacy? Democrats. Who are considered to be racist? Republicans. It's just amazing. Make it make sense. I love that.